Liquipedia, you just put the Liquipedia link up already, because the Liquipedia, after a couple of rounds, will start to fill in, and it's a much better bracket to look at. So that's why the Liquipedia bracket is there. You can still access the official Battle 5 bracket from the Liquipedia page. So yeah. Anyways, Acaron Stefano, this is going to be the matchup we focus on here for this next little while. And again, we'll give you those updates from Blue versus Razorblade as it goes on, and all of that usual stuff. You guys know how it works by now, but let's talk about these guys in this TVZ. Oh, don't proxy racks, please, come on, I didn't jump into this to proxy racks, no! For the left-hand side, our green terror player from Root Gaming is Acaron. Up against the red Zerg in the top right from Gamers Origin, Stefano. So Acaron is another of the youngsters. I think he's not 16 anymore, but 17. So 17-year-old Spanish Terran player. Let me just go quickly double check that one. I'm pretty sure he was just a little older than Clement Reyno. Yeah, he's 17 to 18 this year, and has been playing. He's been a big name, not a big name in the European scene, but if you follow the European scene closely, you see it a lot. Sorry, see the couple of racks coming down. Sorry, I just read a message from my mum just as we got going here, and she says something, blah blah blah, whatever, and then she says hashtag detective mum. That just made me laugh. I remember actually used a hashtag in like the correct way. What year is it? Is this 2019 when my parents know how to hashtag? What's going on? Well, what is going on is the proxy free racks to the top left hand side of Cerulean. Overlord here has not seen it yet, and it's going to be real close. I think I think this just misses, right? Oh man, comes down the side of it, so he does not see the barracks. Stefano, though, did open spawning pool first, so going to be seeing 6 Zerglings on the way up, and they're going to be coming down towards the bottom left-hand side. 6lings going to head down to the bottom left. Stefano looking to apply some of this pressure, and obviously keeps him very safe against the proxy racks play. Oh my god, Acaron built a 4th racks, which is just so non-typical of what you should do. Like, it's just not what you usually do. So he builds a 4th racks, and that 4th racks is what gets him seen by the freaking Overlord. Well, Marine's already out here, but now he'll have to go. I mean, with 4 racks, I mean, you can already see Stefano starts up 2 spine crawlers in the main base. He's like, okay, dude, you're pretty serious right here, aren't you? Obviously, Stefano's seen everything, so he knows exactly what he's playing against. More Lings, Queen, the Spines. It looks good for Stefano, really, to get set up here. As that first bunker will come down, Acaron will start to apply some pressure onto that natural hatchery. And we're going to be seeing this SCV pulling back. Strong, continuing onto the bunker, as we see. Oh, nice little repair in the back here as well, bring that SCV back up to health. That's actually pretty cool. I mean, survive a few extra hits might be the difference between finishing a bunker and not. With those spine crawlers already coming down to the low ground and so many Zerglings, I mean, Stefano just looks brilliant, right? He comes down, he doesn't quite get a surround on those Marines though, so that's actually quite a lot of Lings lost. 9 Lings go down for only the 2 SCVs, no Marines killed, but he does cancel a bunker, of course, and now he does have a very solidified position on this natural expansion, as the couple of Spines will, well, just move around a little bit and sit up that ramp, looking good. I'm just going to be seeing the link speed is on its way up on the spawning pool. A couple more Marines coming over. That's third spine crawl from Stefano. He's really serious about this as the SCVs get pulled, but I mean, he should be as well. Like, he knows it's 4 racks, and there's no way a 4 racks transitions. You know, maybe a 3 racks can transition a little bit if you do enough damage. He knows there's no transition here for Acaron, so Stefano gets another spine crawler, gets another 2. He knows what's up. I mean, he also saw with the Overlord now those SCVs leaving to go across the map. And across the map they go, ready to push in towards this natural. As we're going to be seeing these other spines finishing up. The Lings are splitting up on either side. And while the SCVs will go up to tank, I mean, at least the Marines stayed alive, which makes this have something of a little slight glimmer of hope. But when there's this many spine crawlers, probably isn't really that much hope at all, is it? One of the spines goes down. He will actually stay out of range of the other spines, which is, I'd like to say, nice, as he gets rid of some of these Lings. But there's just barely any Marines left. And obviously, any reinforcements have to come through these spine crawlers as well, and that's a big issue in itself. As Queens alone seem as though they're going to clean that out, GG and Acaron will be dropping out of game number 1. Stefano taking the lead in this series. Automaton, we have got game 2 of Acaron versus Stefano. To the top right-hand side, our green Terran player from Root Gaming. This is Acaron. Up against the red Zerg in the lower left-hand side from Gamers Origin, it's Stefano. leading the series and after a strong start in this WCS qualifier. Again, Stefano alongside, I would say, Marine Lord and Harstem. One of the big players to watch out for today in terms of and Clem as well, in terms of we really expect them to qualify. They've had good runs before today. So yeah, today is really the day you'd expect these guys to go the distance, I suppose. As we do have the gas coming up here from Acaron. So going to get that finished, and well, that rack's dropping down as well right now. In the early game, going to be a bit more regular than what we saw on that last map, Cerulean Fall. Obviously not going to have those proxy racks, and so we can get into a much more sort of macro-focused game, hopefully. As we are going to be seeing. Hatch gas and pool for Stefano. Man, what a read from Stefano then to go for that pool first in game number 1, and like, you know, it was such a great read. I feel like Aqueron proxy racks is maybe a little bit too much for the Zerg players to kind of fall for it all the time. I say fall for it, you know what I mean though. Like, it's not they fall for it, but if they expect it, they really can get a step ahead in terms of beginning to deal with it already. As you see that spawning pool about to finish up in the main base here in just a few moments. Hatchery finishing on the natural expansion shortly as well. And again, going to be seeing the expansion now from Acaron, means that he is off to a prime start. So I was talking a little bit about Acaron at the start of that last game before the proxy 4 racks got going. In general here, the proxy, you know, he does play aggressively sometimes. We saw him in the Team Liquid Map Contest tournament I ran a few months ago. He played a few proxy racks, but he also played some cool macro games. And while his macro game definitely looked a bit weaker, it definitely looked like it, you know, it did challenge a few of the players in some of the series. So made for some fun stuff. Just gonna be seeing that Reaper pulling up back up. Stefano, of course, well, we know how he likes to play. The last couple of days we've been watching a lot of him against Marine Lord. We actually watched him versus Marine Lord happen twice, where he lost once and won the second time around. We've seen a little bit more of Stefano as well. He lost out to Ziggy yesterday in what I think was actually the qualifying match in the lower bracket of... And it wasn't yesterday, it was on Friday, in the qualifying match of the lower bracket. So, Stefano, I mean, he lost to Hellraiser and he lost to Ziggy, both of who ended up qualifying. And then he lost to Marine Lord on day 1, who's still in this bracket as well. I think in general, again, Stefano definitely a favourite to qualify. And Acaron is definitely one of those players who he might have to fall down to the lower bracket here, but he could really put up a fight when pushing through to try and qualify into the, you know, one of the final spots, I would say. I'm not sure how the bracket looks exactly, but I would be very surprised if Harstem, Clem, Stefano, and Marine Lord didn't make it through the winner bracket. There's definitely players that can take them down, but they are the favourites. And past those guys, the other 4, it should become a lot more interesting, I think. 2 Hellions and a Reaper down in the bottom left. 2 more Hellions coming across. And back in the main base. The starport just started up a Viking, so not much pressure or anything coming in from Acaron yet. The Viking to push away an Overlord, and maybe we'll see some sort of attack lap on the starport after that, so that he can start going in towards something here to, you know, just actually get across the map and be super useful. You know, whether it's a Banshee. I mean, Battlecruiser probably not going to happen because it's way too late for a Fusion Core. But yeah, something like a Banshee or something. But no, it's going to be just a medevac. As the armory comes down as well, we're going to be seeing a pretty substantial Hellbat attack here then. So, fairly aggressive once again from Acaron as he gets this set up to go. Just going to be seeing the single Zergling trying to come up the main base ramp. It won't quite make it there. The 2 Hellions will be able to pick off that Zergling. So, I mean, again, Ling will find out a little bit of info, right? Sees the starport still isn't on attack lab, so that's actually really important info, because now Stefano should have a bit of an idea as, okay, well, at least I know it's not a Banshee, right? Now, he is building the spores anyways, because you probably need those in case it's a Liberator, which it is going to be as a follow-up to this. Obviously, if you get rid of a bunch of the Greens during the Hellbat attack, the Liberator follow-up can be very powerful as well. There you go, a few Marines coming over and unloading, so going to be pushing in with the Hellbats and Marines. We see the Viking in the main might try and land. There's a bunch of Lings in the main base as well. He's probably expecting like a Hellbat of Medevac, or Medevac of Hellbats into the main, while other Hellbats push the front. Spore Crawler's going to try and come forwards here, probably try and get underneath that Medevac and to target it down, but I mean, he's actually ran past the Spore Crawler already. Some Queens off to the right-hand side. I mean, this is a good split of Queens. Some of the Hellbats don't really know where to run as Zerglings start to come down from the high ground. Hellbats obviously want to try and stack up to minimize surface area available to those Zerglings. I'm surprised this Medivac hasn't gone down, considering there's Queens on every angle. The Spore Crawler in the end will actually get the kill after going down. What felt like it was kind of being run past and was just going to be left alone. As we see, I mean, the Queens are just split up so nicely. And that's going to be... Oh, nice transfuse as well. Picks off the Hellbats without losing another Queen there towards the end. So, no Queens lost, just 32 Zerglings. I mean, yes, that's good damage from Acaron, but if you look at resources lost, he's lost twice as much. So, yeah, I mean, 32 Lings is nice, but you expect to at least maybe get some drones, deny some mining time, or some Queens. He didn't get any of that, actually. The drones never had to pull away from a mineral line. The Queens stayed very well split up and then re-engage when he realized he had enough to go for it. And right now, the Italians, well, they're going to be able to get rid of some of these Zerglings here, as he will lose his SCV on the third base, though. Liberator shows up and is the most successful harassment so far. 3 drones going down as it comes into the main before being pushed back by Spore Crawler and Queen alike. The Roach on the leg now coming up from Stefano as well, so continuing to set up into this, I mean, Roach-based style against what is going to be a mech follow-up as well. +1 vehicle plating on the armory. The 2 factories are here ready to jump onto tech labs. The starport probably going to give up one of the tech labs. That or he just builds, I thought it might have been landing there. But no, that's going to be his extra factories coming up. Not going to lie, this is not the prettiest of Terran bases I've ever seen. I mean, we're talking about factories literally not in a line and everything at the moment. So, you know, as a Terran player myself, I don't know how you can do that, because I always need my production structures to be in a nice line. It also makes it easier to run through your production structures to defend at times. Well, Aqueron obviously doesn't seem to care so much. But I'm just saying, guys, like these factories are just all over the place right now, and you know, I think get a little triggered. And as you are going to be seeing the Hellions just moving around in the center. Macfield Accelerator has started from Acaron here as well. So getting that Macfield Accelerator on the way, we're going to be seeing the Cyclone out in a few moments as well to join up those Hellions on the low ground. And 6 of these Hellions still on the left side too. Scan comes down and we're going to be seeing a couple of those Crypt Tumors picked off just like that. So a couple of Crypt Tumors going down already. And now those Hellions going to escape out up the left side as other Hellions dive down to the bottom side of the map. They want to try and come in here and maybe pick off a few more of these drones. So a couple of extractors coming down. Ooh, does get one of the drones there. In fact, gets a good couple of drones actually. It's 4 workers killed. We're going to be seeing Spore Crawler Extractor continue to come up. And the Macfield Accelerator about to finish. But he's actually not going Cyclones. Going for a couple of tanks initially. That might be because he feels he hasn't done enough of the aggression so far. And so if his opponent started to build a lot of Roaches, he wouldn't have the Cyclone number just to kite away and to trade like that. So instead maybe needs a couple more defensive-based units, such as Siege Tanks, before he then tries to switch it up in towards the different style of play, which is maybe going to be Hellion Cyclone as a continuation. And we do start to see Cyclones back in production now, so it does look like he's just getting kind of a layered defense here, and then he can start being using that more aggressive style. So setting up towards that. As you see, the +2 vehicle plane is on its way up now. Smart Servos is coming in, and the +2 missile attack upgrade coming in on the Evo chamber with some Dropper Lords setting up. So Stefano going to start pulling units around the map here, maybe looking to pull a few in towards the main while he hits the third or something. I mean, obviously a few different options as to how exactly you approach it. So setting up in towards this right now. And as those Hellions, well, they look back around towards the bottom and find themselves a few Crypt Tumors at least. It's something, but man, these Queens have so much energy. There's active Crypt Tumors behind those Crypt Tumors that just died anyways. Crypt in the middle of the map will get cleaned out a little bit, but again, guess what? The Queens are going to be on their way over. Roaches run straight in to push those Hellions away, so they get nothing more than the layer of active Tumors on the front. And now we see that 4th base going to be moving forwards, dropping down in a few moments as well. So that 4th base moves in here. Going to see another command center down on the low ground. So it keeps on expanding as you see the Hive and the Spire on the way up from Stefano. And again, a little bit of creep pushing through the top, pushing around the right. Here come the Roaches into the main base. Going to be dropping straight through here. I mean, that's going to be 12 Roaches straight out into... Sorry, 16 Roaches. Map on stream. 16 Roaches straight out into the main. They've got tunneling close as well, so Stefano can now start, well, burrowing around the map. He's actually going to leave these burrows because a couple of them will get through. And actually will get in towards the natural expansion. Again, trying to burrow some of them back and keep some of them hidden. It's just trying to force extra scans. He's actually doing a pretty good job killing things here. There's also roaches over on the third base too. And now Locust come in with the Swarm Host transition on the front line. Is going to get rid of a couple units as well. Not much, but again, it's just the fact there's damage going down everywhere. Aqueron is being pulled all over the place as Stefano. Well, now he brings these extra roaches in well burrowed. He's going to go and unburrow those, and they can pick off production, they can pick up depots, more workers, and all the rest of it as well. Swarm Host still sat at the front too. He didn't even build that many Swarm Hosts. He's building 7 more now. He didn't really need that many for what he was setting up for. Tech Lab in the main going down. These roaches burrow big through into the natural, and that's where pretty much the only SCVs are left, I feel. I guess some must be over on this base right here. That's the one base that hasn't really been touched by anything other than the Locusts. The Locusts are actually not coming forward just yet. There they go. So they're going to be firing through. And again, he's just forcing so many scans. This roach stays alive. These 2 roaches will split away as well. There's at least 2 different scans you're going to need. Oh my god, the tank's on siege, which actually just lets the roaches and the Ravagers push forwards here. Corrosive bows down that initial Liberator. And well, the Hellbats will go down as well. I don't think you've got enough to kill the Planetary Fortress here necessarily. But it's already, again, more of a cleanup. And the more of these units that Acaron loses, the tougher of a position he seems to end up in. As we see 2 roaches in the main base, picking off another couple SCVs. The Hellions, the Cyclone, the tanks here, picking off another couple of roaches as well. There's being just damage being done all over the place, really. As we see these Swarm Hosts continuing forwards. And Stefano going to get in a position to send those Locusts in yet again. So there we go. Locust jumping up. The Roaches and Ravagers behind it, probably not going to dive in on this. I mean, there's a lot of units here. What Stefano didn't do one thing is he didn't really clean up a lot of the army. So obviously the army from Acaron is still okay for the moment. Stefano has to try and take fights. I mean, taking fights from this side of the map is good, because by the time the Terran gets across the map to continue, reinforcements are already out. I will say, like, he's actually got a lot of these units very low. Like, the Hellions have taken a beating. The few Cyclones are already pretty low. I mean, Stefano really just needs a semi-decent fight. He should do this. He's going to distract as well with another set of roaches on the third base. More of those SCVs going down. Stefano needs to give up this 5th. I think he can at this point with how much he's killed. Ravagers trying to do their job with the Biles. And again, I think these tanks might be just a little bit too much for a moment or so. But here come the Locusts. No Vipers in on this as well. I mean, doesn't really need them, I guess. The Hive is up, but I guess Vipers aren't really the style he's playing for. He's going straight into the Broods. There's multiple tanks going down. And again, as those tanks fall, the Hellbats and the Cyclones will continue to be cleaned up. And Acaron will lose this siege tank as well. So another tank going down. You can see a couple of roaches from Stefano going to burrow up in the upper right-hand side. You do see another scan as roaches continue to be cleaned out. So roaches going down all over the place. Hellions and tanks. Acaron just pulling those back up to the top here. Still having to use scans on the roaches, man. It's so frustrating. At what point do you just look at this as Acaron and be like, wow, I just got completely played. Like this game, this series even, like this game 1, he got played on the strategy. His choice was terrible against what Stefano did. In this game, Stefano just had all of the right answers. He started to find a bit of an opportunity, and he just did so much with that opportunity. Locusts here again. I mean, there's barely any Hellbats to really take down the Locusts. Targets a few onto the Planetary. I mean, I feel like he could have just gone for all the siege tanks here. He is just not going to get the Planetary Fortress. And he's killing more SCVs than the natural at the same time, sure, but again, felt like maybe these tanks could have gone down. Then you kill the Planetary after because there's nothing to actually defend. Or you kill it on the next round of Locusts. Maybe the tanks will die in the next round of Locusts anyways, though, as we see SCVs continue to be picked off here. So 19 workers down. Roaches in towards the third base as well, trying to get another couple of SCVs. Those Swarm Host roaches and Ravagers just still gathered up, ready to strike every single moment here, it feels like. Locks onto that roach on the top side, takes that down, comes over the right, another scan. We'll be able to take the roach down, so roaches will fall, and again, here come the Locusts. Well, this time there's a few Hellbats that are a bit better placed to actually maybe defend this here. As you see the 24 SCVs down. 8 Broodlords, 4 Corruptors on the way up. And Stefano still just hanging out in the center of the map. You know, again, while Aqueron obviously hasn't had the best of games, and Stefano's definitely running away with the game. At least he doesn't roll over and die, right? He's putting up at least a little bit of a fight. He's still trying to harass here and there, although those files, nicely done. Catches a moving Liberator. What a catch that is. As you are going to be seeing the few extra tanks, the few extra Hellions continue to set up here. Locusts up in the skies are, again, going to want to try and avoid the Hellions. There's so many Hellions now. That's where the Locusts actually become a little bit weaker. Again, I really feel like the chance was missed to maybe kill off a lot of these tanks before. Stefano will lose a bunch of Ravagers now. Again, I mean, you got to remember, he's also building up in towards Broodlords. The number of Broodlords right now is pretty scary, and it's only going to get scarier as Corruptors are already joining the fray. Obviously, these Hellions and Cyclones are going to chase those Locust Swallowhosts down, actually. So Swallowhosts getting chased quite far. Stefano going to be losing a whole bunch of those. It's actually a real shame there. So many Swallowhosts going to fall. Two of them going down the end. Cyclone lock on to pick off an Overlord as well. And from the top side, this Overlord just hanging out too. And there's a Cyclone still pressing forwards and all going to be locking on towards that Spine Force. That'll go down as well. As here come the Broodlords dropping down those Broodlings. And that's where Aqueron just says, yep, GG. That's the, that's the checkmate.